Welcome back to Lions News Fan Report, where we bring you the latest and most exciting sports news every single day. Today, we're diving into a provocative rumor that's been swirling around Ford Field. Could Jameson Williams already be out of Detroit? That's right. Despite his breakout 2024 season, there's chatter that the Lions have quietly decided to move on from their electric second wide receiver. It all started when the Cowboys made headlines by trading for George Pickens in a deal that yielded only a third-round pick and a swap of late-round selections. That low-cost move sent shockwaves across the league. If Dallas could get Pickens for virtually nothing, why wouldn't Detroit consider a similar package for someone like Williams? Asked a stunned Cowboys insider on Wednesday. The implication was clear. A proven 1,000-yard receiver could fetch even more value. But here's where the mystery deepens. Williams wrapped up 2024 with exactly 1,001 receiving yards, 7 touchdowns, and an explosive 17.3 yards per reception average. He was the very definition of a difference-maker alongside Amon-Ra St. Brown and rookie Sam Laporta. Yet the Lions, instead of exploring trade options, exercised Williams' fifth-year option, a move that locks him in through 2026 with a fully guaranteed contract. It seems odd that a team would commit more money to a player they intended to jettison. General Manager Brad Holmes has been equally emphatic. When pressed on the rumor, Holmes laughed it off. "I don't know where this started," he told reporters, on draft night. "We value Jameson. No calls, no discussions, end of story." His dismissive tone only fueled speculation. Is Holmes bluffing to keep leverage? Or is the front office genuinely intent on retaining Williams as a core offensive weapon? Dig a little deeper and you find more intriguing hints. Sources say the Lions' focus in the draft on offensive linemen and defensive playmakers reflected a clear message. They weren't shopping their top pass catchers. Instead of moving Williams to fill a roster gap, they doubled down on protecting Jared Goff and reinforcing the front seven. That strategy underscores the belief that Williams' chemistry with Goff and his ability to stretch defenses vertically cannot be replicated. Yet rumors have a life of their own. One national scout whispered that Williams' injury history, 2 ACL tears in college and a hamstring tweak late in 24, gave Detroit pause. In his eyes, a mid-round swing-for-the-fences trade could have been tempting if they feared durability issues. Combine that with Williams' rising salary cap hit in 2026, and you have a scenario where trading him for draft capital might look prudent on paper. Now, as OTAs and minicamps approach, every rep Williams takes will be under intense scrutiny. If Detroit's coaches notice even a hint of hesitation in his route running or a lack of top-end burst in one-on-ones, those whispers could swell into full-blown trade proposals. Conversely, if Williams flashes the same game-breaking speed and hands that wowed in 2024, it will become almost impossible to imagine the Lions without him. Could this be the beginning of a saga that ends with Williams donning another uniform? Or will Detroit hush the doubters once and for all, unveiling a rededicated Jameson at training camp? One thing is certain. The fallout from that Cowboys-Pickens deal has elevated every receiver trade whisper into must-watch drama. And Lions News Fan Report will be here to dissect every twist and turn as this story develops. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell so you never miss a breaking development in Detroit, Lions country. Now, let's pick up where we left off. What happens if the Lions really do move on from Jameson Williams? First, imagine the midseason trade rumors swirling. Lions execs huddled in the war room, weighing whether to accept that tantalizing third-round package in exchange for Williams. On one side, they'd gain valuable draft capital, an immediate infusion of picks that could bolster multiple areas, from shoring up the defensive line to adding depth at cornerback or offensive tackle. On the other, they'd be surrendering one of their most explosive downfield threats, an athlete whose mere presence forces defenses to respect the vertical game. Which side would you choose? Then there's the dressing room dynamic. Williams has quickly become a connector in the locker room, earning respect for his relentless work ethic and infectious enthusiasm. Trading away a teammate who pushes first round, rookies in practice, and who has formed close bonds with veteran leaders like Amon-Ra St. Brown could send shockwaves through the roster. Would players unite around a new centerpiece, or would morale and trust fracture if they saw a rising star shipped out before reaching his peak? Now let's talk X Factor, salary cap relief. Exercising that fifth-year option on Williams guarantees roughly $12 to $15 million against the 2026 cap. In an era when financial flexibility often determines champions, freeing up that money could allow Detroit to chase a bona fide interior pass rusher, someone like Christian Barmore, or even circle back to attract a proven edge threat such as Trey Hendrickson. Could those long-term benefits really outweigh the short-term loss of 1,000-yard production and 7 touchdowns? Speculation also extends to Williams' next destination. If he's traded, expect teams desperate for game-breaking speed. Think the Falcons, Seahawks, or even Detroit's divisional nemesis, the Packers, to call Detroit's front office with enticing offers. Williams' contract status, under team control through 2026, makes him an attractive midseason acquisition. Would Williams thrive in a new offensive scheme, or would the complexities of a fresh playbook stall his development and chemistry with his quarterback? Next, consider the statistical ripple effect. Without Williams, Jared Goff's average depth of target, ADOT, would likely shrink, forcing Goff to hold on to the ball longer and increasing passer pressure. Could the Lions live without that vertical threat? Or would the offense morph into a shorter passing attack leaning heavily on DeAndre Swift and the backfield committee? And how would defensive coordinators adjust, perhaps daring Goff to beat them over the middle instead of downfield? Now, let's examine the front office optics. GM Brad Holmes has been preaching next man up since arriving in Detroit, extolling the virtues of roster turnover and draft development. Pulling the trigger on a blockbuster Williams trade would cement his reputation as a bold architect willing to cash in on rising stock. But misfire, and Williams explodes for his new team, Holmes's calculus would be criticized for mortgaging high-end talent for mere tickets. Finally, the fan perspective. Some Lions supporters would celebrate the return haul, dreaming of reinvested picks blossoming into shutdown defenders or franchise offensive linemen. Others would mourn the end of Jameson's journey, the Cinderella tale of a third-round pick turned deep ball dynamo. Social media would ignite with hashtags like #free Jameson or #keep Jameson, reflecting a passionate divide in Detroit's blue-collar fan base. So, what do you think about all of this? Should the Lions pull the trigger on a blockbuster deal, sacrificing Williams's big play potential for future assets? Or is Jameson's rare speed and big moment ability too valuable to part with, especially given the team's emphasis on vertical explosiveness? Personally, I'm torn between the roster-building logic that prizes draft capital and the sheer excitement of having one of the fastest receivers in the NFL on my side. I can't wait to read your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the latest Lions rumor mill, make sure to slam that like button, subscribe to Lions News Fan Report, and hit the notification bell so you never miss another update. Thanks for watching, and as always, go Lions!